What if I told you that there's a number $20,000 that flips the script on how you think about money? Once you hit it, your opportunities are completely going to be different. In this video, I'll break down why hitting that first $20,000 is a financial and psychological turning point. It completely changes how you live, invest, and think about money altogether. I'm a process planning and quality manager. In my work, I audit and reduce waste and optimize systems for a living. Once I started applying this to my actual finances, it's when I saw real change. Now let's dig in. Certain amounts of money create certain levels of securities, and hitting your first $20,000 is a big milestone. It completely changes how you perceive your spending, it changes your security levels, how you think about your emergencies, and how you think about money altogether. It's a big turning point. It's like you have a switch that gets turned on once you hit that number. Anything before that is something, but hitting that first $20,000 is a turning point altogether. Now, imagine having that number in your bank account between savings, investments. It will make you really thrive for more. Now, once you see that you have achieved and you were able to save and invest $20,000, everything in your mind is going to shift. You're not just thinking about, I do have an emergency fund and I can actually carry any expense, but I can do that and still feel comfortable enough. And it wouldn't make me start at zero and reset the clock all over again. Even if you come across a certain expense, you are able to offset it, but you are able to still have money in your bank account and not start at zero. It simply offers you new possibilities and a big cushion to stand on. Now, once you do have that, a very good point for you to start building your wealth, and it's compounding. You start to see bigger compounding results. Now, obviously, you know, with bigger numbers, we tend to see better results. And having 10K in your bank account is really good, but you are not able to invest all of that because you need to be able to have your emergency fund, you need to be able to cover your expenses. So you're not going to be investing a big portion of that $10,000. But once you have $20,000, you are able to invest much more than that, and you are going to start to see better results of compounding. If you left that 20K in your bank account and kept on adding $200 each month with 8% rate of return, in 10 years, it would grow over $50,000, which can grow and multiply over time. Your money is going to keep on compounding while you keep on investing, and it will make you think about the next level. Now, what's next? $50,000. So every milestone gets closer once you have the power of compounding working like a machine in the background while you keep on living your life and building your wealth. If you're liking this video so far, it would mean so much to me if you would subscribe to my channel so I can make more videos like this one. Now, we talked about compounding, we talked about having that psychological switch in your brain when you have that amount. But one thing that is super important as well is when spending feels different. I know that because I experienced this firsthand. When you don't have so much money in your bank account, any potential thing that you would like to buy or any whim that you desire, you're going to go for it because you feel like, oh, what am I losing anyway? It's not like I have so much money in my bank account and that will make any dent. So might as well just buy this. Now, once you have that amount, you start to think about money differently. You feel like I was able to save and invest $20,000. So if I keep on spending aimlessly, I'm going to offset that. And it gives you this passion towards protecting your wealth. It gives you something to look forward to. It feels like you start to value money more and value your future and wealth building much more. You start making these decisions completely differently. Instead of thinking, I love that brand, I would like to get more clothes from it, you start to think, is it really worth it to spend $200 on a couple of sneakers? Maybe I can invest that. And you start to think only in terms of what you really need, and your wants will shift. So instead of wanting to buy something new every month, you start to think about, what if I actually put that money towards my investments and accelerate my compounding? Because once you taste the power of compounding and you see your portfolio grow, you will start to think about money differently. you will start to think, which of my securities should I be investing in right now instead of spending that money on something else? Can you let me know in the comments below, have you been able to save and invest $20,000, and how did that feel when you achieved that? And if you haven't yet, what is holding you back from starting this journey? Another point that always strikes me about having that much money in your bank account is when it starts to offer you better options. It literally expands your options. When I talk about options, I'm not just talking about your emergency fund or saving for a trip or something like that. I'm talking about real options. You start to think about, I was able to save and invest this much money, and is it a good idea for me to start a side hustle or start investing in small business? Or maybe I should go back to school and have another certificate. Maybe that certificate would help me get a pay raise. So you start to think about investing in your future and in yourself. And without that money, you don't have these options. You feel stuck in a cycle of paycheck to paycheck, but you don't necessarily have the luxury to consider different options. You can even negotiate a pay raise with a much more confidence because you feel like, what's the worst that could happen? Basically, you have options for your future as well as your present. And one thing I really strive for is having that balance between both, because living just for your future and neglecting your present is very short term. I feel it might lead to so much like burnout, depression, and so many aspects that we don't want. And living only for your present and not thinking about your future is going to give you so much anxiety in the future because you didn't necessarily think about it, and it will fill you with regret. So the best alternative for me is going in a balanced approach where you can actually think about both, because even living a very balanced present make you live a better future as well. And having $20,000 in your bank account and your investments portfolio is definitely going to give you that, or at least contribute to a certain extent. If you like this video, I'm sure you would like this video about how to save $10,000. Thank you for hanging out, and see you next time.